What's up? It's William Cristofero. Welcome to the Rolling Brain Podcast, the second English episode. And today we have James Morley. I'm super happy I got to have James Morley on the podcast. I've known James for quite some time now, and it was really good catching up with him. Today we talk about what is the meaning of a video part for James. We talk about how he went from photography to videos, and we have a clip of one of our homies in there, an older clip, and we explain the story and the process behind the switch blunt I did down Mel 13 years back. So on this, enjoy this episode. James, what does a video part mean to you?
Video part. I think a video part would be structurally, it could be a lot of things. It could be short or long, but it just a collection of clips that, on some level gives kind of a summary of what someone's done with a chunk of their time and a chunk of their skating. It could be part of a theme, it could be part of a bigger video, it could be a solo artistic project, it could be a lot of things. It's pretty open. I think these days it's more open than ever before. It used to be just like cut and dry. You got a song, you got a bunch of skate clips, and that's it, but not anymore. I think it's a lot of things.
Yeah, I think the same too now. It's cool that you can have well, I mean, when I grew up, it was like you're saying, it's like you cut it, everything's there. But now it can be like an artistic project too, and like just like someone in their city or like just like yeah, just like a bunch of clips, artistic clips mixed together, and it makes like a nice project to watch. I don't know if you've seen the Vivace video.
I'm not sure if I have,
You,
which,
you should watch it. It's like 12 minutes. You'd really like it.
dude,
I liked it.
send me a
Yeah.
link.
Yeah, I'll send you a link. It's 12 minutes, but it's just like it's a bunch of stuff mixed in together. It's like a nice artistic project to watch.
Cool.
Back in the days, it would have been like that. It would have been like there's a bunch of mixed different stuff to what I like understood, like
Mhm.
being a video part, like just like tricks. But like I really enjoyed watching it. It was like there's like a bunch of stuff mixed into it, so it was pretty cool.
Cool. That sounds fun. No, I'm happy to watch it. I love that stuff. I feel like, I mean, like some of my favorite things that come out these days are like the FA hockey videos where it's like there's skating, but like the B-roll and the way it's edited and the music and everything, like it feels like you're watching some sort of like sinister short film, like it's like there's so much more to it than just skate clips. And that's like, I don't know, I feel like maybe, I don't know if it's getting older or what it is, but like I feel like just getting banged over the head by trick, like just doesn't entertain me so much anymore. It's like it's cool for the information, but like it's when you have a project where you can really like stick around and enjoy and watch the other stuff. I think to me that's like, that's way better and that's got a lot more staying power. I'll rewatch that sort of stuff rather than rewatching a Insta montage or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you get a better feeling nowadays watching something more artistic and than just like bang, 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 trick, like you're saying over.
100%. It's like you trick after trick, man. It's exhausting. There's no like, there's no time to just sit and get immersed in the thing.
Exactly. I feel like if it's like a trick after trick type of thing, it's more like okay, well, it's got to be like tricks that are really how can I say that? Just like creative,
No,
so it
totally.
kind of
Yeah.
adds like an artistic aspect to the skating.
Yeah. Like if you're just watching it and you're like, okay, there's the nose grind, there's the kickback tail on the ledge, here's the kickflip nose man. Like it's just, there's nothing that's going to make you remember it. It's like, it's cool to see it for the information. You can check off the boxes of like, all right, dude did these tricks at these spots and now we know. But yeah, I feel like these days a part's got to have a little more to it, a little more like artistic edge.
Yeah, definitely. It makes you want to go skate.
Totally.
So do you think God Bless your full length? Is that your first full length video?
That's the first full length. I think the longest video I've done before that was it would have been the one before, which yeah, I think it was the one before, which I filmed in Winnipeg in 2018. It's called Junebug, and it was like two songs and just a big montage with all the friends out there. And when I finished that one, I remember like I like how it turned out and everything, but uh I couldn't help but think like, damn, I wish I had more clips. Like I wish I had more footage to work with, because I feel like sometimes when you want to build a bigger edit, you need enough to work with that like you have time that a song can run out, you have time to have, you know, a little interlude or something and have it fade into something else nicely. It's uh you just need more time. You can't do it in, you know, 5 minutes, you can't, 6 minutes or whatever. So yeah, from 20 end of 2018 until last November, it was about, you know, basically 4 years of filming, and that's how we came up with God Bless. And we got the time. I wish I had a little more time to edit it, because, you know, I think you're always going to run out of time on everything. But yeah, that's the first full length, and I'm pretty happy that it came together.
Yeah, I watched it yesterday. I had already watched it, but I rewatched it yesterday with Junebug. And all like you're saying, all the tricks, the artistic side, but all the creative tricks. There's like I liked how you put like a bunch of different people and a bunch of creative stuff in there with like people skating. And I also like that you put all the old dogs too in there. And like just the whole thing comes and is like fun to watch.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear you say that. That was the goal. I wanted it to come out and be something where it's like you could just watch it for even like the non-skating stuff. Like it would just be like you know, whether it's the B-roll or like the little things that happen here and there, like it would just be entertaining to have on for someone who doesn't really know about skating. And the funny thing is like some of Manuela's friends from law school that she's still friends with now, like came to the premiere and stuff, and like they loved it and had nice things to say. I had friends from high school who don't skate who watched it and were telling me about how much they enjoyed certain parts of it. So like just stuff that, you know, you don't imagine things are going to make it outside of skating, and then they do. And it's nice that it was like, you know, people who aren't just watching it for the tricks enjoyed it too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because it at certain times, yeah, if you watch a skateboarding video, you're like people who are not involved don't really know like, oh, what's a kickflip and what's a heel flip, right? So
Totally.
it's
And like they don't know
important
what
to
goes,
watch.
you know, what goes into every single one of those clips. Like, you know, it might have taken you 3 hours to get that line, and that's 6 seconds of the video. And it's like, holy shit, man, like we're putting so much work into this. And yeah, so it's nice that you can, you know, have some stuff in there that people outside of skateboarding don't just discount it as like, oh, it's just sports, you know, it's just a sports video. So that was cool. I like that. That was the goal, and I think it came through.
Yeah, definitely. It's a great video to watch.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So do you think like your artistic side of taking photos there was help in doing this project?
Oh, 100%. Like, so I might be getting in the weeds here a little bit, but I mean, in one way, it was like I wanted to shoot all of the uh, all of the B-roll on 16 millimeter film, and a lot of the stuff that I was shooting with it, like I feel like a lot of the times when you see film used in skate videos, it's like it's a Super 8 camera, and someone's basically using it as a point and shoot for like, you know, we're gonna get a run up clip of this. We're gonna just get like a quick shot of like the homie setting up his board. Like there's all these things like that where I was trying to think of it more as like the 16 millimeter was for like essentially photos that happen to be moving, and just to get some texture and quality that's like a bit organic outside of HD video. So I think that was like coming from a photo perspective, it was like I want the B-roll to be special and visually a little bit more like graphic and photographic rather than video. But also, there's something that I've sort of been trying to do in the past little while that like when I go out with the guys we're skating with and we're trying to think of spots and tricks and all that stuff. Like I a lot of times will think of a spot based on what a photo could be like there rather than what the clip's going to be like. So when it came around to filming, I was still like thinking with that brain, and it's like I wasn't like complicated technical skating doesn't appeal to me so much. Like I think it's super impressive, and obviously lots of respect for the people that do it. And but for me, it's like I feel like there's something visually about like a still frame from a video clip of someone who's like in the middle of like doing a wally or some sort of like a nose grind to pop out or something where you could almost see it as like a photo within the video, and you don't necessarily get that with like a I don't know tail
Half
slide
that
big
flip
heel
one.
out.
Yeah.
So a lot of times like the tricks people wanted to do and the spots people wanted to go to, I was being a lot more selective about what we were doing and where we were going to try to get clips where I could hopefully get that sort of effect. Um, so yeah, I think just the selection of skating in there is like I didn't want to film something that I wouldn't want to shoot a photo of, if that makes sense.
That makes total sense, and it kind of opens up a lot of doors to like the people in the video, like the tricks they're doing, and like because at the like in the end you could have got like everyone like who is more technical in the video, right? But I mean, you did to a certain point, but you got more people who were creative in their skating, which makes total sense with what you said about someone doing like what's his name again? The bonuses to
Oh, Mike
grind and
Mike
stuff
Wisp,
like that. What's that?
Mike Wispansky. So
Yeah, and a bunch of stuff, and like Will Fion.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like it's like there's some tricks I can definitely see a photo, and like the still frame, like you're saying, it's kind of like if the whole video like makes sense to like another level now, and understanding that. So
cool.
yeah,
Yeah, as I like the idea like that. I try to think of filming like this in general. And obviously it's like it doesn't always work this way, but I like the idea that at any point in the clip you could pause it and it'll be like an aesthetically pleasing frame. Like there's not a lot of dead space. It's all like composed right, which like that's the goal. It doesn't always get there, but that's what we're trying for. That's it's cool. I want it to make things look different, so I hope it does look different. But yeah,
that's interesting. Do you think like a lot of filmers think like that, or just kind of like it has to do with your photography side?
I think it's got to come from photography because I think for a lot of people a clip is just sort of like it's one unit. It's like documenting the trick. You're at the spot where you can see the trick best, like all that sort of stuff. Whereas like yeah, I like to think a lot about like lighting and angles and like where the zoom's going to come in. Like you know I feel like a backsmith, I want to see it from the back so that you can see how the truck's locked and how it's dipped. Like it's stuff that like yeah, it's totally like I'll show up and be like, if I was shooting a photo, where would I go? And I'll go and I'll like stand there with the HPX and like figure out the zoom and everything. And I don't that's right. I don't think other people think that way. Um, I'd be curious. Maybe they do, but it's
Well, if people think that way, they should type it in the comments below, because like
yeah, they should. We can get like-minded
and like
people together.
exactly, because like I'm listening to you and like I see a genius. Obviously, I knew you were from the beginning, but
Respect.
yeah, I knew from the beginning, but Yeah, listening to you is like really interesting into like how you put your photography and your like what you're thinking to your videos, and it makes a lot of sense, and it's quite interesting because I think like for people who haven't used like shot photos or something, when when like people who get into filming, just filming and haven't been into photography, they obviously won't think like you're thinking, and that's fine. But yeah, it's quite interesting and impressive.
Hmm. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dude, yeah, it just I don't know, it keeps things exciting, right? It's things look a little different. It's yeah, it's sometimes funny if I'm like I'll like choose some weird angle or something and someone's like, "What are you doing? Like, well, you shouldn't do it from there." And then like I'll show them the clip after, and they're kind of like, "Oh, I get it now." Like I get, and it's like, yeah, so just trust me, I'll do my thing, and we'll get there.
Exactly. Sometimes you gotta trust the master into doing it differently, even if it's outside the box.
Exactly. That's how great things happen. Sometimes some weird things too, but great things.
Yeah, sometimes you can mix a little bit of weirdness into greatness. It'll make it even greater.
Yeah, totally. And keeps it spicy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So how was that transition from photos to videos? Do you still shoot skate photos?
I still shoot skate photos. It's a little more selective. Um, I feel like the way it sort of happened was like so I went to school for photography, like university, and in my fourth year of school, which also happened to be like when I got into my first long-term relationship and all this stuff. And I was like, I'm trying to also wrap up my last year of school and I'm doing my final projects and all this stuff that's like super time consuming. So I kind of had this year there where like things really slowed down a lot. I wasn't shooting so much. And I think in that time, there were some other guys coming up who were shooting more. And a lot of the people I was shooting with sort of like started going elsewhere, which, it makes sense. I was unavailable. Um, so when I wrapped up school, my final project at school was a video project. And it was like a video installation. And when I was kind of like, all right, well, I'm graduating, I want to do more of this stuff. So I bought a video camera. I bought a GH4 and originally just to be used for artistic projects. And at the same time, it was like, I sort of met some new people. I was skating with some new people and it was, seeing a sort of different side of things in terms of like spots and style of skating we were going to. So I started to also get excited about, starting to film because I was just like, well, I got this new video camera and it was like in a weird way a little bit freeing, like not being kind of expected to shoot photos so much anymore. Um, so yeah, so it kind of happened naturally. That would have been in summer of 2015. So I started just filming kind of passively and, collected footage for a few years. And I don't think anyone really knew what I was working on. And then in 2018, I put out a short video that I think it got taken off the internet because of music or something like that.
Is it on Kingscape?
Might
Was
be
it
called
on
Good Boys.
Kingscape at first?
Yeah, it would have been on King first.
Yeah,
It was I can send you a link to it. I should really put it back online. But
yeah.
yeah, it was called Good Boys, and it was just this total mishmash montage of like just whoever I was skating with over the course of like 3 years, and like there's like B-roll in there that at the time I thought was great, and then in hindsight I'm like, this is just a mess. Like this is just a mess of a project. But yeah, it was this thing though where I put it out and like people were really hyped on it, and I was like, dude, like I'm psyched, they're psyched, um and it was sort of like I put that out, and I think a week or two later I'd saved a bunch of money and I ordered an HPX, and then it was like because before the GH4 you can't really zoom too much and all that stuff, and then I got the HPX in my hands and I was like, dude, this is it, man, like this is it. Uh,
That's the zoom camera. That's
dude,
the
it
zoom
is.
camera.
And like, and
I
at the
had a
time,
GH2 or one GH2, and yeah, I mean it's hard to zoom with it.
Yeah. So getting the Zoom rocker in there, it was like, this is, dude, we're good, man. Like, and and yeah, at the time too, I was just eating up those Supreme videos and like just like, yeah, we're gonna go make a strobe video next.
Yeah.
Because dude, yeah, so it was like it was funny. It was one of those things I didn't see it coming. That I was gonna like sort of shift into this more from photos and like I still shoot photos whenever people want to. Like um I think there's a lot of people that just because there aren't as many magazines, they're not as mentally in tune with like the process of like you shoot a photo, a few months later it gets published, like all that sort of stuff. So it's kind of like if I'm shooting something now, it's more for fun and just because I think it's going to look cool. And if it happens to find a home in, you know, the two magazines that come out every year or whatever, like that's cool. But uh, I also just got stuff sitting on my hard drive that like, you know, I'll figure out what to do with it one day. But for now, it's just for me.
Maybe a James Morley book or something.
And maybe someone to get someone to throw me their marketing budget and let's go.
That would be amazing. Let's get it going.
One day, dude. That's yeah,
Just
let's start a movement. We'll get everyone to message all the companies.
exactly. Because for the people who don't know, I met you like in Toronto, and we were shooting a lot of photos together and everything. And
We were, dude, a long time ago, like it's been 13 years ago or something.
that's crazy. 13 years ago, and
In a long time.
wow, man. When I think about these moments, it's like and how much time we spent like together, and it's just kind of wonderful to be able to have you as a second guest and be able to talk about this stuff. Because do you see um like the transition, like you're saying, obviously you had all this stuff going on, but with the mags that were less and less there, obviously it kind of like put you in another direction
Hmm.
because
Yeah,
because you
it's
shot like a bunch of covers, right?
yeah, I shot. I mean, I think there's like six covers overall, maybe five or no, maybe seven, maybe six. Yeah, six or seven. But it's yeah, it's like, but it was the sort of thing where yeah, over the course of like about a year, like you know, I think it went from getting stuff in like every meg that was available to like you know, there's like two megs left. Like
Mhm.
it was crazy. It happened so fast. Um, but yeah, so it was kind of like you know, I obviously I love skating, but I'm not exactly a spectacular skateboarder myself. So like it, you know, if you're not shooting photos, it's like, you know, I can't go out on the sesh the same way that I would if I was out, you know, with the homies skating rails and whatever with the photo camera. Like I have no reason to be there. So it's like, but if I got the video camera, I got a reason to be there. You know, it's keeps it was a way to like stay involved and still do something creative and visual. And it's actually funny because like when I first started to think about using a camera at all, like in grade seven, my parent like I'd been bugging my parents like hell to get a just like a little one chip mini DV camcorder, and I got one for my birthday, and like you know I filmed with that thing like crazy for a while because it was just like it was you know because you can make little edits on Windows Movie Maker and stuff, and it was great. But eventually I wanted to sort of step it up, and you know VX1000s were pretty expensive, and alternatively you could get a DSLR for a little cheaper. And I was like, oh, you know, photography, it's cheaper, it's the way to go. But like that was very wrong in the long term. But it was like, yeah, like I originally started out with video and kind of like went to photography because it was more accessible, and then now we've come back and gone full circle.
To videography, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of funny how these things happen.
Definitely, you're at the roots, and then you go, you learn some stuff, come back to your roots, but mix it with what you've learned, right? Your photography, mix it in your filming, which and creates like a unique project.
100%, yeah. Now it's kind of like each one kind of like feeds off the other, and yeah, you know, there's obviously special reasons to use each one for different things, and but it's all, you know, all the same purpose, all the same the same thought process behind everything.
Yeah. So tell us the process of like shooting a photo if you want to, and like kind of like so you've had 6, 7, or maybe 8 covers. One that came out as a photo in the photo annual that might have
Dude,
cover at one point.
that one could have been a it could have been that was an interesting decision I made there. That
Yeah, but
we
it
if we
came
sent that
out.
to a different email, that might have been on the front.
But it was a photo annual, so and it's still like legendary SBC photo annual 2010, the Switch Blunt,
Dude,
legendary photo.
that one was special, man. You did that like that was like 2 nights before I moved away too. That was like the one of the last photos I shot in Toronto before I moved to Halifax for a year. That
No
was
way.
Yeah, like you did it. Uh I went home, like partied with some friends that night, and like
In
I
the
the,
Etobicoke.
yeah, yeah, you've been at that house.
I've been to your house,
Uh,
definitely.
and then yeah, I think like it was like the next day or the day after there was like sort of one last session like out in Mississauga, and then yeah, I came home from that and just like packed up overnight, and the next day me and my dad drove to Halifax and I stayed out there for school for a year. So it was that Switch Blunt's very memorable, man. That wrapped up that summer for me very nicely. That was
Mm,
awesome to see.
nice, nice. Yeah, yeah. Tell me more about like the process behind shooting that photo from your perspective. I mean, I remember stuff,
Yeah, so,
but
so we were
yeah.
um I forget where we were skating before. I think we went out to maybe check out I think it was that red 9 stair rail in Scarborough that people were skating for a bit, and like it was a bust.
Was it
We
Silver City?
No, so this one was like there's also like a 9 stair that I think TJ in
Oh
one of
yeah,
his blind
yeah.
cards like switchback big spinned it.
Yeah, I wanted to
Um
back 50 to Laurel, I think.
yeah, so I think we went to go check that out because we were with Binko too, and I think he was trying to do some flip tricks or something. Like so we checked
Yeah.
that out, definitely got kicked out. And then we're heading over to Mel, and it was like so getting kind of later. It's getting dark, and I remember like I think we were driving behind you guys, and you were in like Binko's car, and you're like blasting "Run Around Sue," and like I'm pretty like you were always like the highest energy dude. Like I think you were out the window like dancing and like doing all sorts of stuff. And then yeah, got to Mel, and dude, I like I
How
don't
the,
I don't
how,
think you had any like particular difficulty doing the trick. Like, but I just remember like we shot the photo, and like I wasn't in there at the end because I think I got the photo and then got out so Jordan could film it better or something. And like I just remember I think I was standing like at the top of the stairs maybe like behind Jordan when you did it. And I just remember like watching it happen. So it like just blew my mind. I was like, how like as if, man, because also like earlier that year like Chad front feebled it.
Jinxing it.
And the front feeble was like that was crazy to me. So then seeing a switch blunt after, I was like, oh my God, like this is nuts.
yeah, maybe I can put the clip. I think I still have the front feeble clip of Chad.
Yeah,
It was
dude.
done by
I'll
Jason Delatros, RIP.
RIP.
And yeah, like yeah, uh, he did the front feeble, and then when I did the switch blunt, I remember like you're saying like I'm pretty sure you shot the photo and then you got out so George could film it. But I did this. I'm pretty sure this is how it happened. I did the switchboard and then we got the boot from the security. And like you were saying, we were going around the car, blasting Run Around Sue. And probably that second time, I think I got in with you guys, or you were in
Mhm.
the car. And yeah, we were blasting that Run Around Sue from like, I remember it was in one a mystery video, and like
Yeah,
maybe
it's like Dan
cropped
Murphy's
it.
part, black and white or something.
Yeah, something like that. And yeah, I had it, and then we went, and it wasn't necessarily hard, because I think I was doing it and I was like kicking out at first and just kind of like locking into like switch a board like that, but just like jumping. And then
Mhm.
when I really started committing and going down, it was like I think there was like a good like 10 tries where I slid it like every time, but I
Mhm.
was like scared at the time to stay on it. And then when I stayed on it, it was just like, boop.
Just happened. It was
Yeah,
like I remember being like so shocked, just like, dude, like as if like this just it just worked. Like that was crazy, man. I think about that one a lot. That was nuts. And then yeah, do you shout out Biggie Smalls to the camera after? Was that
yeah. After
nice? That
and,
was
and
good
it's
times, man.
cool. It's cool how there's like all the homies. There's like Brandon. There's like Bobby. There's like John. There's
Like I think like
Jordan.
John's homie from Buffalo was there. Like there's like all these people, man. And dude, it's so funny too, because after that, like I think Binko wanted to go skate the stage gap over the rail, like at the same spot, just at the bottom. And he wanted to do like nollie cab big spin flip or something like something that like insanely tech. And I just remember like getting there and like we were like trying to shoot it and he's kind of tossing them out and it wasn't looking that great. And like I mean, I wouldn't tell this to someone at the time, but I'll tell you now, like it was like I don't give a fuck about this trick, man. Like we just got the one up there, and that's the one that matters. And like we're good. Like if this doesn't work out, no sweat off my back. Like we're chilling. Um, yeah, it's just like yeah, it was funny that switch blunt, man. That was like yeah, that sat on that one for a minute, just like until it came out or whatever. I was just so hyped that just having that on the computer.
Yeah, definitely. It's still like to this day, it's like one of the greatest tricks I've ever done.
Dude,
Yeah.
it was yeah, dude, that was some shit, man. You know you should have a trophy for that one. That one was really
With
sick.
my heart.
Yeah, there you go, man. It's you know, just keep the pride, right? Like it's
Exactly.
that was cool, man. I'm really glad we made that one happen. That was a really good time.
Definitely. And the photo is just insane. Like
Dude, yeah, I was like it's funny because it was like shot the front feeble or whatever and was like hyped on that. And then yeah, just having I find it something where when you sort of shoot a photo, you can be hyped on it and it can be good, but when you just have enough time to look at it and look at it more and more, like, and particularly if you're like trying to progress and be better and learn and all that sort of stuff, you naturally will find flaws. You'll find things that you want to do better next time. You think about how you could change the flashes, all this stuff, and like for that switch blunt, just a lot of it was like I had the opportunity to think about all those things and then go back and actually put them into practice. And yeah, I love that photo, man. That was a great one.
yeah, it's one of my favorite photos too. Yeah. If you're looking for more James Morley, you can follow him on Instagram at James Morley. And if you want to know more about the Rolling Brain, you can follow us at the Rolling Brain on Instagram, and you can follow me personally on at conscious.skateboarder. And I'm super happy to bring these episodes in French and in English, and to bring the wellness side too in French and English. So on this, I hope you like the episode and stay tuned.